Matthews. I am so excited. I am finally in my home here in Colorado. I have been unpacking boxes that I packed last November and finally am settled. You can kind of see it's gorgeous out here. Right over there is the mountains, and it's a path that I can be biking like within seconds, mountain biking, as well as just road biking on a path. So I'm in heaven. But as I am, starting this new chapter and creating this new life for myself, I've been really thinking, how do you, and how do all of us create the life of our dreams, create the life that we want? And I have a lot of teachers and mentors, and I do a lot of reading. And one of my teachers said, Danielle, do you realize your role in the creation process? It's co-creation to create the life that you want. And she said, you're always really in your head. you try to force and push and make things happen. And she said, really the reality is, this is how it works. You're here and you want to get here, right? This is the life of your dreams. This is what you're desiring. And you need to build a bridge. And that bridge gets built when you decide the direction you want to go, right? Where that bridge is going to take you. And you get into alignment. So she said, what resonates with your heart? What feels good? What do you get goosebumps thinking about, right? That's your inner knowing saying, yep, take action there. And so your responsibility, and our only responsibility, which just blew my mind, the only responsibility is to get into action, to take that first step. It's kind of this concept of, right, leap and the net will appear. She said, look, the co-creation process, the hows, the wheres, the whens, all of that takes care of itself along the way. You can't force that to occur. And so when you take a step, it's as if the bridge gets built down underneath your foot before you finish taking that step. And so with each step, you just have to have faith that it's going to be created along the way. It's literally this co-creation. And I started thinking, things that have happened in my life that have led to incredible outcomes. My car accident, for example, that occurred, hit by a drunk driver out of nowhere, 7 o'clock in the morning, nobody else on the road, right? And I get hit. Well, that happened for a reason. And I wasn't in control of that, but that set my path in a different direction. And I think about how I found my dog, right? I had been wanting a dog. I even had a little beanie baby dog in my car I had for years. And I kept just saying, when the time's right, the right thing will happen. I'm going to get a dog. And the dog popped into my world. Literally, I came across Bodhi on a path while I was biking, and someone had just left him there. He was all skin and bones. And so you talk to people like couples, how they've met, right? There's so many scenarios that it's like, there's no way we could have even thought about how that could occur, all the things that needed to happen. And my teacher told me, Danielle, you need to get into action and let go of the result. Let go of when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, where it's going to happen. You just need to act in joy and in faith. The right things will unfold when they're meant to unfold. And release any sort of expectation. And it's really hard for me because my whole life I've been very headstrong, very driven in my head, and I've created a lot, right? People say, you got to think, you got to create it. But the reality is, and the more and more I see this, and the more I study these successful people around the world and these thought leaders, the more they say the same thing, each packaged in a little bit different way, but they're all saying the same thing. And so I wanted to share that with you all because I think it's pretty impactful to be able to go, okay, what resonates with me? I'm going to get into action, right? You have to act. And this is where a lot of people fall flat. They go, oh, I'm just dreaming. Like I can visualize this beautiful house in the mountains and that's what I want. And then they don't act. Like you have to get into action. You have to take that first step. There's a difference between wishing and creating. So you got to take that step to start creating. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, comment below. It's so wonderful to see all of you on here this morning, and have a beautiful week.